Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Mercedes and this is the Frugal Life with Mercedes. So, I don't care what people think about me and you shouldn't either. Now, when I say that, sometimes it kind of rubs people the wrong way. I care that the people that I have in my tribe think that I am a good person, think that I am reliable, think that I am kind, caring, generous. Yes, those things I do care about. But just random people, whether it be on the internet or out and about, I don't ever make decisions based off what somebody else thinks, is going to think, or my preconceived notions of what they are going to think. Life is hard. There are a lot of hard moments in life. There is no reason to make life harder for yourself. The hardest thing that you can do for yourself is be anybody else but who you truly are. I learned that from a really young age. If you ask my mother, I was basically a free spirit from the day I was brought into the world. I always marched to my own beat. I always did my own thing. And I did not fit in. I just didn't. It was very hard for me to make girlfriends. Other little girls, when I was a little girl, they liked me. I got invited to sleepovers. I had lots of, I had little girlfriends, you know what I mean? Like little companions. But they always seemed to kind of cling to other little girls more. And I think it was because I just was really loud and outspoken and opinionated and just very bold. And when you're bold in this life, you stick out. There are a lot of people that just want to blend in. They don't want to be noticed, or if they're noticed, they don't want to be noticed, and maybe for their clothes or their outward appearance, because people just don't want to do that. And there's been different points in my life where I dressed differently, acted differently, because I wanted to fit in. Not fitting in gets really old, especially when you're a teenager. And being a teenager is difficult for anybody. But if you grow up in a very small town where basically everybody is kin, and you talk different, you have different hobbies. I basically have old lady hobbies, like hobbies that grannies like. I just do. Even from when I was very young, I didn't really like the other things the other kids liked. And I can tell you from personal experience, I have ran into people that think that people that are different do it for attention or do it for shock value. And I cannot speak for every person, but I can honestly tell you that the things that I do in my life have nothing to do with shock value. They have nothing to do with getting attention. Everything that I do is authentically Mercedes. And it's very hard to get to that point, especially when you have encountered people that have tried to tame who you are in a negative way. I have been in several romantic relationships where the other person basically started dating me because, I'm sure they liked me and were attracted to me, or, whatever the reasons you start dating somebody. But also because I am fun and I am very outgoing and very eclectic. But as we dated, they thought that I would dress more modest or wear clothes that matched or act a certain way, be less opinionated. And I was never going to do that. But there has been points in my life where I had somebody try to control me. And there's been points in my life where I was slightly under some control from a romantic partner. That is why I speak about these things. Because if somebody loves you, they are not going to ask you to change the way you dress when it's the same way you dressed when you were dating. Or if you've been with somebody for a long time and you switch up your style and they get all bent out of shape about it. You know what I mean? You don't want to be in those kinds of situations. So when I say I don't care what people think, I have feelings, I have a heart, and I have a soul. And when people say mean things, it does hurt. And you can have a thick skin. I have a very thick skin. but I'm also can be very sensitive. I think what it is I don't speak that way about people. I see people all the time where I don't agree with things that they're doing or saying or whatever, but I would never come up and belittle them, whether it be on the internet or in real life, because that's not my place. I don't really understand why somebody would want to dress like everybody else or have hobbies or listen to the music or eat the same foods as everybody else, whether they like those things or not. But if I listened to every comment I've gotten from people in my life, I would be a shell of myself. I would not be Mercedes at all. And I'm here to tell you, each and every one of you that is watching is truly unique and special. You don't have to dress funny and talk funny and have weird hobbies. If you want to wear beige every day and, eat avocado toast and whatever, and that's authentically who you are, then that's okay too. Not everybody's unique, but not everybody is going to be able to express their uniqueness in the same way that I do, because maybe that wouldn't be authentically you, and that is okay. I have come a really long way. As I said, ever since I was little, I've always just been a little bit different. And as I said, there's been times in my life where I kind of reined that in a little bit, not for myself, but for other people. And I was very miserable. And I am in a position now where I literally do what I want when I want. And when I say that, it's with kindness and love. It's not anything like against anybody else. Like some people are like, I'm going to do and say what I want when I want. And they're just rude and like uncouth and just like not a great person. But I always kind of give the same examples to people. I'm like, I drive a crazy colored car with a bunch of bumper stickers. That brings me joy. I have lots of tattoos and piercings. That brings me joy. It has nothing to do with anybody else. I've literally never given it any thought of, well, so and such is going to be so mad. I better get a bigger tattoo to show them off or whatever, like the person, you know what I mean? Like nothing I do is with vengeance. And you cannot live your life worried about somebody else's standards or what somebody else is going to say. Because if you went by everything that other people say, you wouldn't be yourself. You wouldn't even be that person, because if you're getting it from all sorts of different places, it's going to be all over the place of what you should and shouldn't do. So I'm encouraging you, if you are pretending to be something or someone you are not, stop today. And if you don't know, maybe you're like, well, this is just what I've always done. Whatever people did on social media is what I did, or whatever my sisters did, or my mom did, or whoever, then it is time to figure out exactly who you are as an individual and embrace that. Let your freak flag fly. Be individually yourself. Be the best possible you that you can be, and let it all out. And again, yours might not look like mine. Rainbows and butterflies and, mismatched prints and just, those kinds of things. But those things bring me joy, and I need you to find out what brings you joy. And there's going to be haters, especially if you've been doing the same kind of thing your whole life. It's going to be a shock to people that are in your life that are used to you being a certain way. But don't do it as shock value. Don't do it as it's not about shock value or trying to get attention or trying to do things like in a vengeful way. It's about finding out who you are and living your best life, whatever that looks like. And you can start doing that today. Now, some of you are going to need therapy, possibly considering, depending upon what is going on in your life. But it is totally cool to talk to somebody, mental health professional or a safe best friend, and try to figure out who you are. Okay, guys? So I don't care what people think, and I make my decisions completely on my own, of my own accord, and I go by my soul. What feels right with me? And I'm a happy person. I have bad days just like everybody else, but I seriously strive to just be a happy person, and that starts for me with clothing and my hobbies and the people I spend my time with and the way I express myself and the way I set down boundaries. I have the utmost respect for myself, and having the utmost respect for yourself means, for me, being true and authentic to who you are. Okay guys, so I hope that you got something out of that. Please consider subscribing to my channel. If you did not know, I have an Instagram, The Frugal Life with Mercedes, and I challenge you to figure out who you are and start living as that person. Until next time, guys, bye.